Hello guys, what is up? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new here. My name is Ashley. Today I'm going to be testing out a foundation, which I haven't done a foundation review on my channel for what feels like ages. And Chemist Warehouse just had a 50% off sale and I wanted it in there and I saw this little guy. This is the Revlon Colorstay Light Cover Foundation. Back in the day when I was in high school, the Colorstay range from Revlon was like my go-to. I used to buy that foundation all the time. I loved it. It was like my go-to drugstore foundation, but I haven't used it in absolutely ages. So I saw this one and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try this one out. Although I am a bit worried about the color. I'm thinking it might be a little bit too dark for me, but I used to be 150 buff in the normal Colorstay foundation. So I thought, you know what, I may as well pick it up in the light version as well. So hopefully it's an alright shade, but it looks a little bit dark to me, but we will see. If you guys are new to my channel, I have super oily skin. I normally go for something with a little bit more coverage, but I'm kind of leaning towards wanting to move to a bit more of a light kind of coverage foundation situation. So I don't really have the worst skin in the world. Obviously I'm not completely breakout free. I've got a few scars and things like that, but generally I don't really need a lot of coverage and I don't really mind my imperfections kind of poking through, if you know what I mean. I do use the Estee Lauder Double Wear for my everyday foundation, so this will be kind of a step out of that kind of full coverage realm, which I'm excited to do. My issue is, which I know a lot of oily skin people find, is that oily skin and full coverage foundations tend to go hand in hand. It's actually very difficult to find a long-lasting oil controlling foundation that isn't full coverage. I think they formulate the foundations to last on us oily skin to be really industrial strengths. That's why a lot of them are those full coverage foundations. This one is meant to have 12 hours of flawless wear, so we're going to be putting that, not probably the 12 hours, it's a bit late, it's nearly 1 o'clock, but I'm going to have it on for about 8 hours and see how we go today. Like I said, I picked the shade up in 150 buff. This one retailed, I think it was, so I paid $14.97 for this foundation on the Chemist, from Chemist Warehouse, because it was on sale. I think it's normally so it's $29.95 is the regular price, which is, you know, expensive for a drugstore foundation, but that's kind of what we deal with in Australia. They're always really expensive. There's 12 shades on the Revlon.com website, and like I said, I picked up the shade 150 buff. This is kind of what the shade selection looks like. So typically a lot of lights, foundation shades, which isn't great. A few kind of darker ones obviously down the bottom, but it's not amazing. It does say that this foundation is an effortless, long wear, fluid foundation with buildable coverage that looks flawless and feels fresh for 12 hours. We will see on my oily skin. The lightweight liquid perfects the right amount. It evens out complexions with a range of adaptable shades that disappear into most skin tones. Hydrates skin all day and protects with SPF 35. Now, that's on the Revlon.com website. This one, the Australian version, just so you know, it's only 30 SPF. So just something to note there. The fact that it's a light coverage might make up for the limited shade range, just that's what I'm kind of reading from that it's light coverage, so it doesn't matter if you haven't got your exact one, it will kind of blend and work into the skin, but we will see. I'm going to do my normal kind of prepping, so I've done my moisturizer, skincare, all that. I'm going to go in with my Rimmel Fix and Perfect primer. This is a primer that I use every single day. I do love this primer. It's not super oil controlling, but it does give a beautifully smooth complexion to the skin, so I'm just going to apply that to my face. It just leaves your skin feeling super soft, but not like the professional primers where you feel slippy. It just feels soft and mattified. So I really love this primer. So I'm going to give it a little bit of a shake. It is really liquidy sounding in the bottle. Okay, so you get 30 mils of product in this, and it comes in just a little kind of squeezy tube, which I feel like a lot of these kind of skin tint, lightweight foundations are all kind of coming out in. And I'm just going to squeeze a little bit onto the palm of my hand. And that is what it looks like there. It is quite runny. I can feel that just running down my hand. And actually the color might not be too bad. I feel like it might be okay. I'm going to go in and apply it with a beauty sponge. This is one just from Kia Cosmetics. So I'm just going to pick up a bit on that sponge, and I guess we're just going to go in. Oh yeah, it's not a bad match actually. Coming through 150 buff. So I hope this doesn't turn into a hot mess, because I I'm filming this with no contacts in and no glasses on, so I have no idea how this is blending out at the moment. It does have a bit of a smell, like a bit of a sunscreen smell, but other than that, it doesn't have like a overwhelming like fragrance smell. I'm gonna go in with a little bit more, that much more. I'm only gonna be applying with a sponge because that's how I prefer to apply my foundations and things. Like if you wanted to go with a brush, then obviously you do you, but personally I prefer a sponge. It's blending in very, very easily. I'm just gonna go, it's quite a lightweight foundation, so I'm gonna go like right up under. Normally I don't go right up under my eyes, I leave that for my concealer, but it's really lightweight, so I'm gonna do that today. So this is what one layer is looking like. So you can still definitely see my flaws, but it has just evened my skin tone out. Like, it looks nice, it looks like skin. It maybe has a slight little kind of powderiness to the top like layer. I think I am going to go in with just a little bit more just on my nose. I feel like I'm still looking like quite red on my nose here. It hasn't really covered up like my glasses kind of redness there that I just had my glasses on while I was kind of putting my setup together. And maybe just a little bit more coverage just here and here. But other than that, it's quite good. Okay. We're going to put on a little bit more and see if it builds. Sometimes I find these lightweight foundations, you can't like build them up. Like once you put it on, that's it and that's all you get. But I'm surprised that it's left such a like soft matte kind of like, I don't know, finish to the skin. I kind of feel like it should have been like more hydrating kind of finish or like dewy kind of finish. I'm not mad about it because I prefer to have a little bit more of a mattified skin to begin with, because we all know my oils will come through and give me enough glow. So yeah, so that second layer, okay, I don't know if you guys can see, but it's like a little bit powdery looking, just on like everywhere really. Has a slight powdered finish to the skin, which isn't the worst. It might not look so bad once I've applied the rest of my kind of face, but first off, it's not looking the greatest. I've got to say, it still does look natural, although it does have that slight powdered finish to it. Like my skin still looks like skin. It doesn't look like really powdery, heavy, cakey, which is nice. So I'm going to apply the rest of my face and then I will come back. The time is now 12:50 p.m. I am going to apply the rest of my face. I'm not going to bring my concealer down too far, literally just keeping it to inner corners and outer corners of my eye, maybe a little bit on my nose, just to cover up a little bit of that redness that I'm still seeing. I am going to lightly powder and set my face as I normally would using my normal powders, which I will show you afterwards. But yeah, I'm, you know, happy with it so far. So I finished my makeup. It is now 1:28 p.m. So I've had the makeup on for about 40 minutes or so, and this is what we are looking like. I've got to say, not super happy with how my makeup is looking. I did find that my makeup went on a little bit patchy, especially to the areas that I didn't apply powder. The powder that I used is just my Maybelline Fit Me like loose powder. It's the powder that I use, you know, pretty much every day at the moment. So normally when I apply that powder over the Estee Lauder, I just apply it to my T-zone, down my nose, chin, and a little bit under my eyes just to set the concealer. And then I will go in and apply my bronzer, the rest of my face, and I'll go in and just chisel out a little bit underneath my cheekbone here just to clean up my bronzer a little bit. But this, I found everywhere that I didn't set, I felt like it went a bit patchy. So for example, my hairline here, I don't know if you can tell, but it's quite patchy just here and here, and I've tried to blend it out, and this is like as good as it's gonna get. I feel like because it didn't have that powder down first to like create a smooth base, it's just kind of like, because obviously I set here and I blend out the powder like to set my foundation here, but when I've gone in and bronzed it, it just hasn't blended seamlessly together with the powdered section of my face. I did find it as well, just like, I don't know, I feel like my bronzer just looks super like it's not super blended. I feel like it's just stuck there. and I've been blending for a while and I feel like it's just getting like muddier. It still does have that powdery finish to it. I know I did set it with powder, but that's what I do with all of my foundations. So I wanted to continue that with this foundation review as well. Anyway, this is what we are looking like just with everything turned down a little bit more so you can kind of see my face. And that is my forehead. So as you can see, it's just looking like it's just looking really patchy up in the top section. And I've tried to blend it so much that I just feel like it's looking like darker and darker and muddier and muddier. So yeah, that's what this side's looking like. It's like everything's just looking like it's stuck there. Like it's stuck to the foundation and just didn't really move. It's definitely, makeup's looking a lot more like intense than what I was going for, especially like my base makeup. So straight off the bat, not really loving it so far. I will leave it on for a few hours, come and check in, then I'll leave it on hopefully until about like 8 o'clock tonight, so you can kind of see what a, you know, typical like 8ish, 7ish hour day kind of looks like. But yeah, not super impressed with it right at the moment. I don't like, coverage wise, it's not the coverage, it's just the way, like I'm fine with the coverage, like what my skin is looking like. Still seeing a few of my blemishes here, like the coverage is fine. I'm absolutely happy with the coverage. It's more so the tackiness of it and the blendability for products on top, which I'm not really loving. But anyway, we will go about the rest of our afternoon and I will come back and check in with you in a couple of hours. Hey guys, so I'm back. It is now 7:40 p.m. I thought I would try and extend it out and just do the end of the day. I probably could push this out another couple of hours, but I can't see it getting any better. I just need to have a shower and take it off. It's not the worst that I've ever had, but it is definitely not something that I can really see myself wearing again. It's done something really weird. So I've got a mirror here. It's all gone. I'm gonna get a bit closer. I'm gonna turn down this light a bit. And I'm gonna turn off this light here so we can kind of see. It's gone all really dry and cakey looking around my mouth, and it is like I've had dinner and a little bit of my dinner got here and it just like completely melted it off. It's going like really crusty and crepey in my smile lines here. My forehead, the coverage has like completely disappeared and it's just kind of like, it's like oily on my forehead but like dry down here. I don't know, it's like super, super weird. Here on my cheekbones, like my cheek section looks okay. It does look better than what it looked like before I found that my makeup kind of like clung on certain areas. I don't think it looks as patchy. I mean, it's not the best makeup like application ever, but it's like, but my forehead has like patched off like here. You can see like where the bronzer was, like it's really patchy here. And like my nose, like it's mainly just like here. And my nose and things, like it just looks bad. Just looks bad. I'm gonna get a bit closer so we can see kind of like up close. I don't know if you can see, but like in here, it's like really kind of crepey. Like my smile lines, like it's all like separated and gone crepey looking in there. My chin has kind of like worn off, like especially here, and like all around my lips looks like manky as. My forehead, like it just looks like patchy. Like all up in here looks super patchy. It's sunk into like my forehead lines. It's not as bad, but I think it's because it's a more of a lightweight like formula, so it doesn't like sit in there really bad, but it's definitely sunk in there for sure. Cheekbones don't look too bad, but even just here, it just looks like dry. It's weird. It's like dry and crepey here, but like oily here. Like, I don't know. Maybe I need to not set it with powder at all and just see how it goes, but I'm not really super impressed. Overall, it's not the worst foundation that I've ever like tried on my skin. I've definitely had ones that have looked way, 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 way worse, but I just can't get it. Like, I don't understand why it's like oily and then like dry here. Like, I just don't get it. I think it could be because where we built it up. You know how I applied that extra layer down here for a bit more coverage? Maybe it's the extra layer that it hasn't liked and it's caused this dryness to occur. I'm going to try it out again. Obviously this is only first impression, but I might try it with like a different powder. I'm going to be ordering my Nakia Joy like loose setting powder shortly, so maybe I'll try it with that. But it definitely did not like the Maybelline one that I used. I just don't understand. It just looks so bad just here. I could absolutely get away with the forehead and like the patchiness. Like I could totally deal with this. I just can't deal with this section of my face looking so crepey and crinkly. Like it makes me look so old. I don't like it at all. It also just like, if you like touch your face, it just like comes straight off. Like, it's weird. So I'll just show you, like, I've just touched it and it's just like wipes like straight off, and I'm not pressing hard. Like it's just like a slight little wipe. Like if you were wearing a face mask, like this would be off your face in like 2 seconds. Here in Australia, we don't really have to wear masks anymore except for on public transport, and I don't really catch public transport very often, so I can totally just see this wiping straight off if you had to wear it like a mask for sure. So anyway, that is my first impressions on the Revlon Colorstay Light Cover Foundation. If you guys have tried this out, please comment down below. Let me know how you got on with it. Did you have any of this like weird like dry, patchy, like crepiness going on, or was it like super oily all over you? I would love to hear from you and let me know like what you did to combat like this kind of look. Like what did you use if you noticed it? Let me know, because I really like the idea of this and I could totally get on board with a little bit more of a glowy like oiliness aspect of it if the down here section was looking better. Like I feel like I could get on board with it just looking a little bit glowy, whereas this looks like just dry and crepey and crinkly and I look like my skin just looks like aged. Anyway, let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave me a big like, thumbs up. It really does help me and my channel out. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of the week. Be kind to one another and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.